Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of the New Wave of Traditional Heavy Metal Primer, Episode 9. And of course, in the co-captain's chair, the co-creator of the show, Mr. Rich Catino. What's going on, my friend?
What's up? Morning.
Rainy,
Yes, past couple
chilly.
days here on the East
Yeah,
Coast. Yeah,
it's been kind
yeah,
of it's like almost like it's spring, but it's like winter is kind of like
hanging on a little bit.
just a little bit. Yeah, just a little.
Yeah,
It's just cold enough, but
yeah,
we were just talking yesterday that probably what's going to happen is that this cold weather is going to linger a little bit, and
yep,
as soon as we like get to around May, it's going to be summer, and there's
yeah,
going to be no like 60, 65, 70
yeah.
for an extended period of time. We're going to go from this to like 80.
You know what though? The other night I went to go see Night Ranger here in Jersey. Um, what town was I in? I was at the Bergen Pack,
Okay,
and it was
good venue.
raining Friday, and then all of a sudden it cleared out. It was nice. The sun kind of came out, and I was hanging out, walking around the town, got something to eat right before going to see Night Ranger. So you know how the spring is; it's very
Yeah,
up
it
and
just
down.
it's all over the place, all over the
Yeah,
place. Yes, indeed.
yeah,
So, as we have been doing on this show, each episode we feature five bands that kind of play in this new wave of traditional heavy metal, right?
yeah.
So basically these bands are going back to like the 80s, the 90s, late 70s,
Mhm.
and doing, new stuff that's rooted in classic heavy metal and maybe little bits of doom, little bits of thrash, little bits of power metal.
Yeah.
American scene, new wave of British heavy metal scene, right? They're kind of
Yep.
taking those classic sounds and revamping them and doing them fresh here in the 2000s. In many instances, we're picking bands that we've never heard before. And you guys watching have been instrumental in
Yep.
listing bands for us in the comments of each episode that we can go and check out and pick. In some instances, like today, two of the bands we're talking about today, I'm fairly familiar with. Rich is pretty familiar with one of them. So it's a blend of stuff we know and stuff we don't know. So we're learning just like
Yep.
you guys are. And each and every month has been fun because we're going and listening to these bands, and some of them are great, some of them are okay, right? Not every
Yeah.
single band is going to click with everybody, but we're generally surprised. In fact, Rich and I, as soon as we like got into the Zoom, Rich was like, "So what'd you think about these five bands?" And I'm like, "It's a pretty good group right here, right? Pretty good batch of five."
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
does happen for us as well. So we're not just sitting here, BSing you guys saying, "Oh, go check out these bands." In most
Yeah.
cases, we're really enjoying this just as much as you guys are. So,
Yeah. And we've talked about a lot of the bigger names too that started this more than 10 years ago. So if
yes,
you check out older episodes like Striker, Night Demon, Enforcer, Skullfist,
tons.
all those bigger names that have been around for a while, they're in past episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, we've done Haunt, we've done Burning Witches. I mean, we've covered a lot of the more notable ones.
Yeah.
But there's just so many. There are so
Uh-huh.
many, and from so many places around the world. That's the crazy thing. I mean, every
Yeah.
episode, we're literally every band. I think today we have a few more US ones than we normally have in a grouping, if I remember correctly.
Two? No, three.
Is it three? Yeah,
Yeah.
three of them.
Yeah.
So we got
Yeah.
we got one from Germany, we got one from Norway, and all the
Yep.
rest are from the US. So
Yeah.
yeah, which is kind of interesting. So let's get
Yep.
started with our first band. So the first band we're going to tackle here is from Germany. Let me just get my image ready to go. That band is Tyran.
Yeah. Who
Uh,
are really, really new.
Yes, yes. They only just formed in 2020. They've got the one full-length album on Iron Shield Records, which is the one you're seeing right here. It's
Mhm.
called Oath. I mean, Tyran's Oath, Tyran's
Yeah.
Oath, Tyran's Oath. I'm not sure how
Probably
they,
Tyran.
yeah, probably Tyran. So they've only been around for a little bit. The band comprised of Thomas Resch on bass, Simon Domling on drums, Serge Durak, I'm probably butchering these names, on guitars, Christian Kier on guitars, and on vocals, Nicholas Peter. And like I said, this album is called Tyran's Oath. And we're going to put the link to the Bandcamp pages for all of these, with the exception of one of them that does not have a Bandcamp page, but I have a YouTube link for the full album. So, Rich,
Mhm.
what'd you think of Tyran's Oath? It's pretty good, right?
So yeah, I liked it. Out of the five, they're all different, distinctly different sounding. Like we
Yes.
talked about before, some of these bands from this new wave of traditional heavy metal kind of, I don't know if it's the same this, but there's a lot of similarity between a lot of them
Yeah.
because of the style
Yeah.
given. But I think these five have something that they do with whether it's the vocal, the arrangements, The guitar sounds are different from each other, which is good. You can definitely hear it.
Yep. Yep.
Tyran remind me of at first I was hearing like Omen and Malice from the US. So like Protectors of Metal, I thought was a great traditional anthem, right? Bomber too, but that
Bombers.
reminded me of Current Accept,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I'm hearing some Current Accept in this band, but then when I got to Thrill of the Chase, it's like Primal Fear, mid tempo German metal, right?
Yes.
So I think these guys have a nice mix of the German thing going, but with the US underground sound happening.
Yeah, there is a I wrote this in my notes. There is at
Mhm.
times a Teutonic feel, but it's
Yes,
not overplayed. Like,
right.
in other words, I love that you mentioned Primal Fear because that's a perfect example. Like they don't sound like old Accept. They
Right.
don't sound like old Scorpions, but they do
No.
sound more like modern Accept. And there
Uh-huh.
is that Primal Fear thing going. I
Yeah.
also because and again to reiterate, most of these bands we're talking about generally have two
Mhm.
guitar players. So there is
Right.
the twin guitar theme. I hear some stuff like on like Highway Warriors and
Yeah.
Strike with the Whip. I hear like a Thin Lizzy vibe. They're doing that harmony. You know, it's almost like
Yeah.
inevitable that you're going to get that from
Uh-huh.
time to time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like Riot in the Streets is like more of like kind of like a kind of like high and dry or the first album from Def Leppard meets like Riot,
Mm.
like Fire
Good
Down Under
call.
Riot,
That's a good call. Yep.
which doesn't the rest of the album doesn't sound like that at all, but I get it on that
Uh-huh.
particular one. I love this singer, man. So
Yeah.
this singer goes for more of the high pitched stuff.
Yes. And he's got a unique texture too.
Yes, and he doesn't have there's no accent whatsoever, so he
No.
doesn't sound German at all. In fact, I would swear he's probably a British singer, right? If you didn't know any better, that's kind of what I
Mm.
thought. But
Uh-huh.
I think there's some really good tracks on here. Some of it's kind of like speed metal, you
A
know?
little bit. Yeah, but
Yeah,
not speed metal like an Exciter or a Razor or something. It's more of
no,
that
not quite like
it's
that.
like that power metal kind of a
Kind of
speed
like
metal.
Liege Lord and Omen, like with the bands we've covered on the right.
Brainstorm.
Brainstorm, yep, that
Yeah.
sort of thing. It's kind of power metal, but a little faster type of thing. But
Uh-huh.
when these guys do like the more mid-pace stuff, like Thrill of Chase, that's
Yes.
I think my favorite
Yeah.
song on the album. That's like just
Yeah, I wrote that. Yeah, that's the one I wrote down. Very Primal Fear-ish without sounding like Primal Fear, because
yeah,
who
really
sounds
good.
like Ralph Sheepers? Nobody really. So
No, 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 nobody can quite sound like him.
yeah, or
But
this guy. He's unique as well, I think.
yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. I like the production on here.
Yep.
I like the guitars are produced wonderfully. I mean,
Hmm.
big and massive, just like you like.
Yep.
Um, I think the title track was Last, if I remember correctly, and that one's really good. It's got like lots of textures on the guitars. There's some atmosphere on it, and I think
Yeah.
the singer's going for a little bit more of a restrained melodic tone as opposed to going full tilt, shooting
Yeah.
to the heavens like he normally does. I think this
Yep.
is a really good album. I think this is one of the best of this group, easily.
And as we also talk about, great logo and great artwork too. It's a complete
Yeah,
presentation.
yeah, this cover is pretty fantastic. It's really
Yeah, very mystical, mysterious, dark. It's cool.
Yeah, I like it a lot. So yeah,
Something I
that's
would definitely get on vinyl.
yeah, either or, right? So
Right.
yeah, well, like I said, we'll put a link to the Bandcamp page for people who want to go listen to it and consider a purchase. But this is their first album, and like we said, this came out in what year was this? 2024. So
24.
this is already not quite a year old. So
Yep.
we'll see what they got coming up next. But yeah, definitely recommended here.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
all right, next up, we're gonna go to Norway. A quite frankly, a place that's not known for doing new wave of traditional heavy metal stuff, and that
Right.
band is Morax.
Which is not a band, it's a person.
It's a right, so it's normally you think of Norway, right? You think of black metal, maybe
Right.
prog rock, and there's a lot of one man Norwegian black metal bands, right? But
Like Bathory, right?
right, yeah, it
So
is.
so this person who created this music, he's gonna have to get a band together to go play the music live, you know?
Yes, yes. His name is Remy, and he does
Yeah.
everything. It's a one-man show here.
Yeah.
They have the one album. This is it right here. It's called The Amulet, and this was released
2025.
2025. They
Yeah.
formed in 2020, or he formed. I shouldn't say they formed. He started this in 2023,
Yeah.
and this is the one full-length album, and it's on High Roller Records, which is a
Uh-huh.
very prominent heavy metal label right now that's doing releasing a lot of this sort of stuff. I
Yeah.
would say probably Rich. If you don't wind up on Nuclear Blast or Metal Blade, if you want to get on or Napalm, if you
Mhm.
are kind of in this scene, I think High
Yeah,
Roller Records is the place you want to be. You
yeah,
know,
it's a good
Stormspell
one.
too, right? Stormspell does a
Storm
lot.
Spell too, absolutely. Yep.
But High Roller Records is
Yeah,
doing a ton of really great stuff, and their presentations, whether you buy CD or vinyl or whatnot,
yeah,
the presentations are just marvelous. As you can see, great
yeah.
artwork.
I love this. Another one I want to get on LP. I mean, this artwork is just—it's so eye-catching. Eye
Yeah,
unintended.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the
Yeah,
big
it's very
white,
cool.
green, and whatnot. Um,
Yeah.
so, what is this all about? So, I'm getting to me. There's a lot of new wave of British heavy metal elements to this album, but not
Hmm.
places you would normally think. Like I hear little bits of Angel Witch, I hear little bits of Satan, I hear
I
little
do hear
bits of
that. Yes.
Witchfinder General, kind of the more raw stuff. And there
Yeah.
is a slight doomy vibe to some of the tracks, especially the second.
Seven pierced hearts,
Yes,
like Sabbath, right?
yes, yep,
But
absolutely.
vocally, though, this guy
Nothing.
reminds me of Thomas from Celtic Frost.
Yeah, a little bit. Yep.
Meets. Do you know the band Morgana Le Fay?
I heard of them. I don't think I've ever listened to them. I know
They're
you.
like a power, yeah, thrash band from the 90s and early 2000s who were really cool. And the singer's name was Charles. He had this really unique tone to his voice. If you take Thomas and you mix him with Charles, that's this guy's sound for me. And
Wow. Okay.
again, another unique voice amongst everybody. He really
Yeah.
does stand out. He doesn't sound like anybody else. But I'm also hearing like black metal too, like those weird minor chords and things, and the way the riffing is. It kind of who does some rhyme me of? I wrote down Watain. Like you know how they have those melodic pieces in their music and stuff, like Belial's Rising. Totally
Yep.
reminds me of like a Watain kind of a melodic black metal guitar harmony thing going on. It's really cool.
You have to wonder if this dude mostly plays black metal and this is kind of like his like traditional
Maybe,
metal
but
project.
it's much more melodic. It's more melodic, like a who else besides Watain? Dismember at times, like that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. I could see that.
yeah.
It's a good album.
Hmm.
Phantom Sleeper's another great track. I think
Yep.
the song The Descent's got some like epic metal stuff going on, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool. And the production is so typical of like the Norwegian black metal scene. It's very murky. This
It
I think out of
is,
all the albums we're talking about today, this is the one where the production is so different from everything else.
but it's clear though. It's not muddy or anything. I don't
Right,
think.
but it's just this it's just seeping just kind of like atmosphere and like murkiness,
Yeah.
but you can hear everything for sure.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that Seven Pierced Hearts though is really good. That's to me it sounds like Sabbath, but I'm getting like Dehumanizer era Sabbath. Of course, the vocals are
Yeah. It's
different,
not
but
70s. I don't think it's
yeah,
more
no, not at all, not at
later.
all.
No Tony Martin. It's after. It's either a Dio era or maybe even like Born Again type of thing, but
Yeah,
not
or even
those
like
kind. Not
something
those
new
kind
like
of.
Heaven and Hell, that type of thing.
Yeah, or
Hell
not
Band.
those kind of riffs. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all
Um,
over the place with like speeds and stuff like that. Like you have the Snake, which is pretty
I
fast.
love it. I wrote that down. Very Celtic Frost too, with that brashy kind of drumming going on, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is a really solid one.
Yeah, and
And
unique.
it's unique. Like the riffs are kind of off kilter at times. The
Yeah,
soloing is really good, but it's not like
yeah,
there's not a ton of it. Very, very unique. I will say this is probably out of all the ones we're talking about here, this is probably well, this is the last one, but the last one's for a different reason. This one is like kind of sounds like it came from another time, which I think is
yeah,
cool. I think that's the vibe he was going for.
yeah.
So
It's melodic, like I said, like melodic black metal, like even like Dimmu Borgir at times without the orchestration,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
I also wrote down Phantom Sleeper, one of my favorites,
yeah.
and Inverted Church might be my favorite.
Inverted Church is very good.
Yeah, very influenced by that black metal, melodic black metal thing
The
going
riffs
on.
are great on that song, but
Very
it's still like
atmospheric.
it's still regular metal though. But it's got
It is.
I think what Rich and I are trying to convey here is that there are little bits of things that kind of
Yeah,
seeping into this album that almost like they don't belong because they're not part of what we normally would describe in this scene, but yet they
right.
work so well. So I'm thinking this
Yeah,
guy has got other projects where he does all that sort of stuff. I'd have to look
right.
into it a little bit further, but yeah, it's definitely a good album. And like I said,
Hmm.
they're on a great label, so this is probably pretty easy to get. We'll put the
Yeah.
Bandcamp link down below for everybody to check out the Amulet, which is their one and only album.
Very cool artwork. One of my
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. This is
top three favorites out of this batch.
yeah. I would agree. I would agree. All right, so now that we got Norway and Germany out of the way, we're going to do our final couple from the US. So let's pull in the next one here. This is a band that I'm pretty familiar with. They got a brand new album. It just came out. I'm looking to get a hold of this. That band is called Tower, and their brand new album is called Let There Be Dark.
Hmm.
And of course, they are on, oh, geez. Is this Napalm? I'm forgetting what, I didn't write down what label they're on.
Let me see. I'm trying to find them. They're from New York.
Yes, yeah, they're from the city. They're from the city.
And you can even tell when you look at the band picture, their style, it's very kind of New Yorkish, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. So they formed in 2015 from New York City. They've got three full lengths. We've got Tower in 2016, Shock to the
Oh,
System 2021.
Pete, it's Cruz del Sur.
Oh, Cruz del Sur. That's it. Yes, absolutely.
Another label who's great at putting
Yes,
out a lot of
100%.
this kind of retro 80s traditional metal stuff,
Yes.
right?
No, yeah, we often forget to talk about Cruz del Sur because
Cruz
they,
del Sur,
they've been
yeah.
doing it for a long time. They're a great, great label.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, Shock to the System 2021, Let There Be Dark in 2025. The
Hmm.
band comprised of Felipe Armand on bass and backing vocals. We got James Donzo on guitars. We've got Zach Penley on guitars. Sarah Beth Linden on vocals. Great singer.
Female voice. Yep.
Yeah, really, great voice. Got presence too. And Keith
Yeah.
Mikas on drums. And that is the current band. So I've been following this band for a few years, and I really like their last album a lot. And they've played in the area, New York, New Jersey area, a ton
Okay.
over the last bunch of
Next
years.
time I come, we got to try and check them out because this is new to me and I like them.
They played in Middletown here.
Oh, really?
Steve Keeler had them playing at the bowling alley when they were doing shows there, like
Oh,
last year and a half ago, something like that. I missed them, but they play. They just opened up for. They were just in New York City, opened up for someone else. I don't remember who. A
oh,
notable
cool.
because I know Ryan Scow went. I can't remember
Hmm.
who they were with, but they play here a lot, and I'm
Okay,
sure with this new album we're going to see them quite a bit. So,
cool.
what did you think of this album? I think it's quite good.
It is, and it's different again. Doesn't sound like everybody else. This has a very, I said it's like an avant-garde kind of music feel to this. Not, it's traditionally based, but it's their guitar sound. It's just the way they play their music with her voice. It's got like this goth kind of traditional metal mix, like the song Under the Chapel.
Yeah, good
I
song.
thought Let There Be Dark, you got the faster tempo though. So they're not kind of slower really or gothy like that, but they have, quicker, more aggressive attack at times too. I wrote down Holy Water. It's got that kind of like a church intro thing, right? But they have like prog tempo changes
Yep.
from the aggressive stuff and the shredding to going back to like a mid tempo. So they're throwing it all in there. They're mixing
All
it
over the
up.
place.
Yeah.
Did you get the little bit of like Motorhead grit on the guitars on
Yes.
Clad?
Uh-huh. Yep.
I'm
Yep.
listening to that. I'm like, holy shit, that's like something off a bomber, right? Or
Yeah.
Iron
Yeah.
Fist or whatever. That's pretty cool. And I
Uh-huh.
think she does a really good job because she's doing some really different things on this album vocally. Like Under the
Yeah.
Chapel, do you hear her going for like some King Diamond vibes? She's doing
Yes.
like the low stuff and then the high stuff, and it's
Uh-huh.
whoa,
I
that's a
do
little
get
bit
that.
different, which I
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
like. Holy Water's great. What else we got here? I get a little bit of uh there's some kind of like the hammer, which is the closer.
Yeah.
Really good. There's almost like kind of like epic power metal vibes going on there, but then it's not. Like
Mhm.
you mentioned, like there's some prog things happening and some
Yeah. Yeah.
darker gothic-y things. It's not
Yeah.
like
Like a 70s kind of aesthetic going on,
yeah,
But then you have And I Cry, and they got that haunting, melodic, dark vocal, which is completely out of nowhere. I wrote down she sounds like Ann Wilson there.
yeah. She's got a really good voice.
Right.
She knows how to
Yeah.
use it in different ways. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like one of my favorite tracks is Book of the Hidden, which is just straightforward, just
Yeah.
metal all the way
What a
through.
cool
Just like
title, too,
no
right?
little bit of anything else there going on
Cool
for
title. And I like the way the artwork reflects the kind of mystery of a title like, that,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's very cool. I think this might be my favorite from them. Again, I
Yeah.
need to hear it more, but I'm looking
Yep.
forward to getting this one. It's quite good. They're a really,
Yeah.
really good band, and I
I
think
love
she's just a really good front woman.
totally. And the logo with the snakes wrapped around the logo, again, artistically, it's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. So yeah, Cruz del Sur Records, folks. We'll drop the Bandcamp link down below for you to check it out.
Yeah, we
And
got to try and check them out live if they're a New York City band and they
yeah,
play
they
around.
play a lot. They play a lot. So
Yeah,
I'm
we got to
sure
get to
there'll be
them.
an opportunity. All right, so from New York, we're going to go to Los Angeles, California
Yep.
for Saber.
Another one of my favorite covers. Man, is
Yeah,
that
that's pretty
cool?
dynamite, right? And it like flames,
Right? The demon, the
demon
skeletons.
beasts,
It's
right?
so cool. Yeah.
So these guys formed in 2018. They play classic metal through and through. Two albums, Without Warning in 2021 and Lost in Flames here in 2025. This just came out, and they are on a Roar slash Rock of Angels records, I should say. We've got Dave
Mm.
Sanchez on bass, Yolo on guitars, Stephen Villa on vocals, Jesus Decay on drums, and Antonion Pentinato on lead guitar.
And they have a band camp.
Yeah, they've got and they've got a YouTube channel as well where you can go listen to the whole album. So
Mhm.
this is an interesting one because this is really short. It's like
Yeah.
you can almost call this an EP because it's like 28 minutes long, but it just
Yeah.
there's not a wasted second, I think,
No,
the entire one,
there's
right?
not.
Yeah,
If you like the band Haunt, this is your band,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Just that straightforward, catchy, traditional heavy metal.
yeah. With really good vocals,
Big riffs, big production,
super
everything's
crunchy riffs.
punchy, crunchy, clean, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get some classic vibes here and there. Like I hear a little
Mhm.
early Queensryche in spots. I hear a
Yeah.
little like
Title track, Iron Maiden, new wave of British heavy metal, the rhythm with the twin leads, right?
yep, yep. Madam Dangerous, I hear a little TNT, maybe a little Crimson Glory, especially on the
Cool.
guitar work. The singer to me, like on Time Tells, sounds like Ray Alder from Fate's Warning a little bit. He's got a really good voice.
Yeah. I wrote down that he kind of has like a cry and a shriek to his vocal sometimes,
A
doesn't
little
it?
bit, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's if you love 80s like, classic metal, commercial
Like
metal.
Striker and Haunt,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Skullfist, you'll like Saber.
Yeah, just really, really good production,
Yeah.
really catchy anthemic songs. There's just shredding guitar player all over, guitar work all over the place.
Yeah.
Um,
Shadow of You and On the Hunt are two of my favorites.
On the Hunt is really good. That's a really good headbanger. You got those
Just a
little
great,
bit of gang
yeah,
vocals, right? But
the
yeah,
horns up and the fist up and it's a rocker, right?
yep. Steel
Yeah.
Breaker, it's just pedal to the metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to hear more of this band. And
Yes.
it's almost like I
Agree.
said, it's 28 minutes, so it's really brief. And by the time you get through, you just want to kind of play it all over again. But
Yeah.
it's definitely fun.
How many records did it have out? I know
Just
two.
two, yeah, just two. So we got
Looks
this
like
one, and then
three actually.
Without Warning in 2021. They may have done like a demo or an EP or something like that.
Speed Racer in 2019.
Yeah, I wonder if that's a full length or not. That might be
Let me
like
see.
an EP or something.
Let me see. Looks like it's a song. Okay.
Oh, just a
I gotta
single.
check it out. I never heard it. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Lost in Flames, brand new, Rock of Angels Records. This is a good one, folks. But again, just keep in mind it's only 28 minutes long, but sometimes, roughly a half hour is okay. That's all you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
All you need.
Yep. Yep.
All right, so from Los Angeles, let's come back to the East Coast for our next and final one, probably the most unique one on this list, I think, and that is the Pennsylvania band Summerlands. We've had a lot of people in the comments ask for us to cover Summerlands,
And I've never
and
heard of them.
yeah, I've heard. I've not. I'm pretty. I think I have this, but I'm not sure. Again, I get so many CDs all the time, but I
Yeah.
know I have their 2016 release, which is self-titled. I'm pretty sure I have this one as well. They're on the Relapse Records, but I hadn't listened to this in probably since it came out, and I really enjoyed re-listening to this one. The band is
Yeah.
Justin DeTore on drums, John Powers on guitars. Arthur Risk on guitars and keyboards, and Brendan Radigan on vocals. He's the real deal, this guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about singers, he might be I'm not going to say the best, but most melodic and cleanest voice out of everybody.
Yeah, he's really good. It's funny
Yeah.
because as you make your way through this album, like I think on the first song,
Hmm.
um, I get a little bit of like more melodic and not maybe as I don't want to say goofy because it's not the right word, but like
Yeah.
Papa Emeritus from Ghost vibes on the
Okay.
first song. But then as
Yeah.
you get through the rest of the album, I don't feel that anymore. He's just got this really good kind of like Geddy Lee latter years, but way stronger and a
Yeah.
little more confident type of thing going on, but
Mhm.
very melodic. And
Yes.
he's very prominent in the mix, but he doesn't like overstep everything else.
Right.
You're so impressed by him that you almost forget everything else that's going on. And then you got
Yeah.
these like big riffs and the guitar textures are wonderfully done. Like
Yeah.
this is not like rich like riff-a-rama music. Like there's
It's
great
not.
riffs, but there's just so much little things going on. Like the space,
Right.
it's like very proggy, but it's not overly so. I
Yeah.
it's
And
hard to
it's
kind of
melodic like Saber, but not as busy and aggressive as Saber. It's a little more straightforward,
everything's
80,
breathing, right?
almost like an 80s hard rock aesthetic
Yeah,
to it, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm getting like again we're bringing up all these proggy bands, but like
Mhm.
Fate's Warning at their most textured atmospheric best.
Yeah.
Rush is doing like not the 70s type stuff when Rush is doing more kind of like there's a lot of different flavors and things that are filling in the
Mhm.
space where it's just
Like
not
I'm thinking Fate's Warning like Parallels or
yeah, yeah.
around there, right? What's the other album? Parallels and
Colors
Parallels not it came before or after. No, even No Exit, just not as aggressive.
no, Perfect Symmetry you're probably thinking of.
Perfect Symmetry,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
That and Parallels, yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things going on here, but yet
Mhm.
it's more it breathes more. I don't know. It's very hard to describe. It's
Yeah, I wrote that down for Twilight Points the Way, right?
yeah, that's really good.
Mhm. Yeah, and
The drumming
Heavens
is
Above,
great.
I
There's so
love
many little things
title track.
going on.
Yeah.
Heavens Above, really catchy. Dream Killer. Dream Killer is probably the closest they get to like kind of like a speed metal song.
Mhm.
That's probably the most like overtly metal on here. But then you got
Yeah.
stuff like Night Ride, which is
Knight
brooding,
Rider, less heavy.
atmospheric, nice use of keys, not too much, just a little
Yep.
bit.
Yep.
Edge of the Knife is killer.
Do you
Uh,
know that reminds me of more modern day last four albums from Tigers of Pantang?
yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Yep. And the production of this album is great. Like
Again, yeah, another well produced album.
yeah, I mean the guitars sound amazing. The vocals are so crystal clear in the mix.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, yeah, The Savior's Lie is another really good one. This is really good. It's funny, as I
Yeah.
was re-listening to this, I'm just because I know I'm pretty sure I have it, and I'm
Yeah.
like, God, I haven't listened to these guys in years. I need to go dig this out of my stacks and be like, I gotta, get back into this band because this is like really, really good stuff. Really good stuff.
Yeah. And what's interesting is that given their logo, you'd think they're a black metal band,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
but they're not at all. It's a little misleading, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
very misleading.
Yes. And the cover is like kind of, like desolate looking and
It could
whatnot.
be a prog album. It's more of a prog kind of an
Yeah,
artwork,
with a
right?
black metal logo. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Yeah, they're really good. I mean,
Yeah.
if I had to pick my favorite of these, God, this is a tough one here because there's a couple really good ones. I might lean towards Summerlands, but it's close because there's some really good ones here.
Yeah. Summerlands, Saber for me. And then for something different, Morax. Tyran is right up my alley too. And
Yeah.
then for something really, really unique and different would be, Tower. It's kind of a little out of my wheelhouse a little bit,
Yeah, but quite
but
good.
it's still cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good. So for everybody watching, you got let me change myself back to normal view here. So everybody's Pete, I can't stand looking at you with your Jethro Tull
Reversed.
t-shirt on backwards. It's driving me crazy, David. I know that's not the way you normally look.
Yeah.
No complaint to Zoom, right? Tell them to fix this fucking Prezi app thing. Um, so yeah, so five more bands here for you guys to check out. I will have links below for all of them so you can go investigate. And please do. That's what this is all about. It's about exploring new bands, new music. And if you're a metalhead, right? There's absolutely no reason not to check some of these groups out. And I think
Yeah.
we got five really good ones here. But as always, folks, keep listing stuff in the comments, bands that kind of do stuff like this that we might be interested in checking out for future episodes. But please also watch the other episodes because a lot of people just start naming bands we've already covered. So go check
Right,
out
right.
the previous episodes and whatnot. So
And
as
you
well.
know, we were talking about this previous episodes how a lot of these bands should be playing the Heroes Hell's Heroes Festival, and I checked out their posters from the last 7 years, and most of these bands have been playing it.
Wow.
Maybe not these bands, but previous bands we talked about. A lot of them are
Yeah.
play that festival,
Is
which
it
is really cool.
more is it international bands as well or more the US
A little
bands?
bit of both.
Okay, well that's good. That's
Yeah, got to check out the posters. A lot of people have played that festival. I was impressed.
Yeah, I mean, I've been fairly closely watching the lineups of the last like 2 years or so because, quite
Yeah,
frankly, I never heard about this festival until folks like on Hudson Valley Squares and whatnot started going and talking about it, and I was like, oh, and then
yeah,
oh wow, this some great bands playing these festivals here, you know?
yeah.
So
It's real important to this scene.
yeah, yeah, big time.
Yeah,
And I do want to throw another shout out to this band, but I do want to thank Claymorian because Rich and I reviewed the new Claymorian CD last week, which we'll
right.
get another plug here, which is Eternal
Yeah,
Curse, right? So we included Claymorian on a previous episode of the show, and they got wind of what we were doing, and
yeah,
they've been regulars on every episode in the comments, and they hopped
yeah,
into the chat when we did the premiere of the review episode. Really, really nice folks, and
yeah,
again, guys, great music, keep it going, and hopefully maybe one day we'll have them on the show or something,
yeah. Cool. They're on episode 5. I'm looking
Episode
at our
five.
list
Okay,
here. Yep,
cool. Yeah.
with Cauldron, Thriller, and Eternal Champion.
Aha. Nice.
Yeah,
Cool. Eternal Champion. Great, great band.
yeah,
Good band. Cool.
yeah,
So, Rich, before we let everybody go, what's any news happening on your end? I know you just saw Night Ranger live. You got any shows planned or?
yeah. I took some really cool pictures. Going to write that up for Brave Words. I got 2 articles I'm going to do for the Metal Hall of Fame. What else? I think that's it right now. No shows in April. I think the next thing for me is after Night Ranger. I think Winger and Bullet Boys in PA. It's the last run of shows for Winger. So if you're going to go check them out, which I highly recommend, they're going to retire. So do it.
Kip is done, huh?
Yeah, he wants to do the classical music thing that he does.
Yeah, well, that's what he's into now, right? You got to follow your muse, right? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, but Winger's awesome live. You got to go see them. Have you seen them yet?
A long time ago, not in more recent years.
Oh, you got to try and see them, man, before they go. They're awesome.
What have they announced the tour dates yet or?
There's one in PA that I'm going to go to
Okay.
at
Whereabouts?
um the one that's on the hill, the Penn's Peak. It's on the mountain, Penn's Peak.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's a New York, New Jersey area one yet. Got to look.
Yeah, I'll go have to check it out. I'll see. Yeah, it'd be nice to
Yeah,
see it one more time, one last time.
sets next for me. And you?
I don't think I have anything till Robin Trower in June.
Really?
Yeah, although Steve Keeler's had doing the big Rock Fantasy 39th anniversary bash in Warwick, New York in a
Okay.
couple of weeks. That's like a full day thing, like a whole bunch of bands and stuff. So I might go pop into that for a couple hours. But yeah, otherwise I don't have anything else going on.
There's a couple coming up. Winger is May 2nd. Gene Simmons, if he sticks to that date, is in New Jersey on May 6th. Which I'm only going to go if he does stuff like Charisma and a couple of those really cool tunes. I'll go. If not, forget it. June is Spread Eagle. Remember that band?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
They're going to be in Jersey. Mike Tramp's White Lion. He's going to be in Jersey too, doing a show June 21st. So I'm going to probably hit those two next.
I see
Yeah.
Clutch is coming around. I saw Buckethead is playing up in Albany. I was
Oh
like,
yeah,
Jesus, when does Buckethead come around ever? You know, God, guy's like
yeah.
got like 50 albums. He actually probably has more than that. So like, what
Mhm.
when you're someone like that and you got like a million albums and it's all instrumental music, what do
Yeah,
you pick to when you play live, right? How do
yeah,
you choose from a discography like that, right? It's just,
yeah.
I'm glad he's playing live, but it's just crazy, you know.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
So. So cool. All right. So that's another wrap for the New Wave of Traditional Heavy Metal Primer, folks. So thanks for watching. Please check out these bands. Links will be below and give us recommendations for future episodes. We greatly appreciate it.
yeah,
And we'll see you soon. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. Rich will be back in just a couple weeks because he and John Gaffney and Grant
right.
Arthur will be ranking the albums of the great Canadian band Coney
Hmm.
Hatch.
Yeah.
a few weeks' time. So that's coming up real soon. So stay
We're
tuned.
in we're in two rabbit holes. We got the Canadian rock and metal rabbit hole, and then we got the American side of the traditional heavy metal from the 80s that we're picking away at a little at a time, right?
Yes, so just would you know the some of the bands that Rich and John and I specifically are looking to do in the
Yeah.
coming weeks and months. We've got Virgin Steel, we've got
Mhm.
Hellstar.
Yep.
Rich and I talked about doing Brainstorm. We got Fifth Angel. We've got what Honeymoon Suite is on the list.
Vicious Rumors.
Vicious Rumors is another one. That's right.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean, and right there, I'm gonna do Riot as well. It's just like so.
Oh, cool.
These are big catalogs and really
Yeah.
good, kind of under the radar bands that if you
Yeah.
love the big bands of the day, there's
Mhm.
no reason why you shouldn't love these bands as well.
I'm sure most people know these bands, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Whether how
Yeah.
much of the catalog they know is another thing, but
Right. We've already done Liege Lord and we did Omen.
yes, yes. And we probably should, even though it's only two albums, we probably should do a quick Malice ranking
Oh
anyway.
yeah, those two are great. We were
Yeah.
talking about that. And you just got those remasters, right, from Rock
Yeah,
Canyon?
I just got the Rock Candy ones. Yeah, so they're
Their
great.
remasters are killer, dude.
Yeah. So sometimes, I mean, there are some people that like whenever we do a ranking of like a band with two albums, they're like, why are you bothering? It's like,
Mhm.
why not? Because
Yeah.
there should never be an excuse to just not talk about a great band that's like
Right.
under the radar, that's like
Yeah.
forgotten. Like a band like Malice. Yeah, they
Yeah.
only had two albums, but
Yeah.
who's doing a show on Malice? Nobody.
Oh, you know who the other two? Fifth Angel and Leatherwolf.
That's right. That's right. Yep.
Yes, they're on
Yep,
the
Fifth
list.
Angel, I got right here. Leatherwolf's another one, another great band. So,
Yeah,
and we've
dude.
had people, ask about this stuff. So yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll get to all of them. There's a lot of them. So, one episode at a time, right?
Yep. Yes, sir.
So that's a wrap, everybody. For Rich Catino, I'm Pete Pardo. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Tune in just a little bit because we're actually recording them back to back here, but they're going to also air right after each other. Another episode of our What's Ifs or What Is It series. I'll be joined by Brendan Snyder, Scott Lade, Grant Arthur, and Phil Aston. We're going to be talking about Pink Floyd. What the hell is Pink Floyd, really, right? Nobody can ever describe exactly what the music of Pink Floyd is all about. We're going to
Mhm.
attempt to do that. That's coming up in just right after this episode. And then we got the Hudson Valley Squares tomorrow, in the Prague seat on Tuesday, and all sorts of other stuff during the week. So thanks for watching. For Rich Catino, I'm Pete
Yeah,
Pardo.
thanks, guys.
Enjoy. Take care. Bye bye.